Good morning, everyone. And as we're still giving Happy New Year's to a lot of, it's been a week already since we started the new year. And I'm very excited for those that don't know me. Welcome to Startup. My name is Betty Lopez, and I'm stationed in California, USA. And this is why I'm so excited about joining to these type of Zooms because we're international. We're connected all over the world. I see Miami, Canada. I saw Africa. So I'm excited to be here. And as Dave was saying earlier, which I'm jumping introducing the person that's going to be giving us this mentoring Monday, it is every Monday at this time. If you are starting up on this new opportunity, or as me, that has been doing it for quite a while, but you're just hungry to meet your goals and start up a new year, well, I encourage you to connect to this type of Zoom. Now, if you're a newbie, if you're a new guest, welcome. So with that being said, we're starting up with the vision of 2024. And today is Monday, January 8th, 2024. But I don't want to steal too much time because we have a lot of information to go over. So here I am so honored and privileged to introduce you and bring up to the platform our beautiful Platinum Elite. That's right. He's a big earner here. I don't want to talk about money right now because he's going to be the one doing it. And I'm excited to start up with my notes. So if you have your notebook, I encourage you to write all the notes you can. And if you have your vision board going, start up with introducing Dave Daughtrey to the platform. Please be a round of a virtual applause for him. Take it away, Dave. Thank you.
Thank you, Betty, fellow Californian. You know, everybody, first of all, Happy New Year. This is our first Mentor Monday of 2024. Of course, last Monday was New Year's Day, so we did not have our Mentor Monday. For those of you that are new or coming in for the first time here, Mentor Monday is really about kicking off the week. It's an opportunity for me to be able to spend some time with you and share anything from ideas, motivation, inspiration, you know, all these things that we're all looking for to grow, to develop, whether it's, you know, whether it's just as a person, developing your skill set, or in your business, making more money, as Betty said, you know, it's life is really about development. It's about growing and being productive so that you can live a life of abundance, you know, in all aspects of life. And I'm a very visual person. And so today I'm going to share with you a little bit about some of, you know, how my vision, you know, has evolved, because it's different today than it was when I joined For Life. Those of you that know my history, I've been involved with For Life for 25 years. I'm in my 26th year now. And so my purpose when I first joined was for a particular reason. And that purpose has changed over the years. You know, goals change. And so I'm going to share with you some of the things, and forgive me, I'm not trying to boast or brag, but I'm going to share some pictures. I'm a very visual person, and there's a bit of story behind some of the things I'm going to be sharing. So let's talk about 2024. As you know, the convention coming up in April in Utah, the theme of it is vision. And, you know, it's important that we all envision where we want to be. So I want to ask all of you right now, here we are in January, kicking off the year, really everybody's doing this all around the world. Analyze 2023. How was it for you? Did you accomplish a lot of your goals? You know, did you make any changes in your own personal development, your personal growth? And just do a little bit of an analysis and then ask yourself, 2024, what's going to make 2024 any different? Now, we all know that if you want anything to change, you have to make those changes. Every now and then, yes, things happen in life that force us to change. You know, I love that quote by Bob Hoskins in that movie, Made in Manhattan. If you all seen that with Jennifer Lopez, where he's her boss and he gets fired because she got fired. He really shouldn't have gotten fired, but he did. And she says, oh, not you too. And he says, you know, sometimes we're forced into directions we ought to have found for ourselves. And sometimes that does happen to us. But for the most part, we're the ones that have to do a self-analysis and make the changes. So my question to you in 2024, Where do you see yourself in 90 days, in 6 months? Where do you see yourself? I say the fall, that's fall here in the US. We got people in Kenya and South Africa. But where do you see yourself, in October? And then, of course, ending the year. All right. Now, I'm a very visual person. So when I started For Life, I had no car. Those, my story, no automobile. I was living in a dumpy apartment in a place called El Centro, California, starting life all over again. Gabby was my girlfriend. We were dating, and I had a lot of dreams, and I'm a very visual person. And so I envision myself, with my accomplishments. You have to see yourself down the road. Where do you want to be, and what is your plan to get there? It's kind of like saying, you know what, I'm going to drive to New York from California, or if you're in Kenya, you're going to drive to Mombasa, and you've never done it before. Well, you've got to have a map. You have to have, some sense of direction. And so your map is in For Life. Your map with us is your plan of action. What's your plan to accomplish your vision, where you see yourself? Then the question is, what price are you willing to pay? Now, we're not talking about surrendering your children and your family and all that stuff. We're talking about personal growth, personal development here. All right. The price, meaning that maybe you have fear. Maybe you have fear of rejection. You have to overcome that. The only way you're going to overcome it is by trying. The only way is to get out there and do some prospecting, and don't worry about what the outcome. Disassociate yourself, divorce the outcome. Don't worry about it. All right. It's not your responsibility to convince the world. It's not your responsibility to make everybody ready to change their lives. They have to want to. All right. But if it's fear that's holding you back, the only way you're going to overcome that is by taking the challenge and doing it. It's kind of like swimming. If you got in the pool, you might be scared of water, but you know what? You can learn to swim and overcome that fear. Some people are just naturally good swimmers and some are not, you see, but anybody can learn. Same thing in this business. Anybody can learn. All right. Maybe it's leadership. Maybe it's just that you've never had a leadership role, in any of your employment, or throughout life. And all of a sudden here, you got to get out and you start sponsoring a few people. You're selling some For Life products. You've got somebody using, the cardio, transfer factor plus, skincare, whatever. Now all of a sudden they sign up, they're excited and they want to get involved. And now you have to learn to be a good sponsor, and you kind of have to declare yourself a bit of a leader. All right. Well, how do you do that? It's a process. It doesn't happen overnight. But I tell you what, anybody can learn, and anybody can develop, and anybody can grow. And again, the best education there is, the best school in the world there is, it's called experience. So the more involved you are, the more that you're trying to work your business, the more you're out talking to people, doing some prospecting, the more that you engage in working with the people you have sponsored and prospected, you're going to become a better leader, you see? And that's, for me, what's been one of the greatest joys of this business. I have traveled the journey of success with hundreds of people all around the world. Yeah, I've got over 200 millionaires in my organization now, Gabby and I do. Excuse me. And none of them became millionaires overnight. There's a process to it. But we have been able to witness this, whether it's with the guys in Puerto Rico being Juan, Arminio, Ivan, Angel Molina, any of those guys. We've journeyed the journey with them to Esdras and the Dominican, all the way down to Ecuador and South America, then over up to Asia. In fact, Gabby and I were just communicating with one of our golds in Malaysia. She was right on the border of Singapore and Malaysia. Her name's Shamala. Her husband passed away, Dr. Tamil, and she's had to kind of step in and take a leadership role. So here she was kind of raising a family. He was actually the one that was building the business, and she's kind of been pushed in that direction now. She was up in Kuala Lumpur at a convention, a For Life convention that they were doing. And so she stepped in to adopt that leadership role. But the point is, working with your downline, working with your people. I was having a discussion with Claudia before we got started right now, and it's been a joy for Gabby and I to watch Claudia. I know, Claudia, how long ago was it that we first met? Probably about close to a decade ago.
Yeah, like 11. You came to Canada 10 years ago.
So 10 years ago, I flew to Toronto, and Claudia was getting started with her business, and we've had many a conversation. And so here, all of a sudden now, her downline is really starting to take off and grow. And I was saying that she's got all this experience, all this knowledge and wisdom and everything that she's, accumulated in For Life. And she's a great sponsor and a great upline, but there's a process to it, you guys. That's my whole point here. Wherever you see yourself down the road, it's a journey. It's all about growth. It's all about development. And hopefully you see yourself in 2024 accomplishing your goals. Now, let's talk real quick about networking. All right, building a network. I love this business because it's multifaceted, meaning that we have to pretty much do everything. No one is going to provide you with all the contacts and say, hey, here's a whole list of people that are interested, give them a call. We go out and scout. We talk to people. We're the ones that do the prospecting. So you learn to be a good prospector. Well, what's a prospector? Just have your antennas up. I believe I have one of my guests on here. Yeah, she is on, Michelle. Many of you remember my story a couple weeks ago. I was getting my hair cut for Christmas, sitting in the chair, and there's Michelle right there. Hey, Michelle, good to see you. And Michelle was cutting my hair, had a conversation, talked about transfer factor, explained it. I think what I said was, I said, I'll be back before I go to Brazil to get my hair cut again. And she said, what are you going to be doing in Brazil? And I said, explained to her going down there to work with our team, do the business. Gabby and I were going to be traveling down there. And from there, it went on talking about health and wellness and transfer factor. And then the lady that was next to her, named Jess, was cutting someone's hair, and she overheard the conversation. So next thing you know, I'm talking to both of them, and sent a video, and then dropped off a couple samples. And here's Michelle. You guys, prospecting is nothing more than just passing on information, sharing it to someone. But if you want to be a good prospector, you have to be a good messenger. You have to be able to deliver the message. So in 2024, are you going to work on your messaging? And how are you going to do that? You want to know how I did it when I started? I practiced in the mirror. I literally talked to myself and gave myself presentations and memorized it about transfer factor. What does it do? What does this messenger molecule do for the immune system? How does it help your health? All right. Then when we came out with other products, now I'm not an expert on all the products. Claudia knows more than I do about the whole digest reset system. All right. But I worked on my messaging, especially when it came to the opportunity. So my question to you in 2024, are you going to become a better messenger? And I'll tell you something. Knowledge creates confidence. So the better you become at messaging, or anything for that matter, the more confident you are, the more action you're going to take. People that take action are people that tend to be confident. Well, the only way to increase your level of confidence is, again, through experience, also in downtime, be it in the evening time, whenever you got a little bit of downtime, maybe you're just relaxing over the weekend, get out your phone and start doing some research on a product. Maybe it's the skincare, the Aqua line. Maybe it's, I know that Michelle said she's interested in transfer factor lung, wants to know more about that. Learn your product line, get good at your messaging. All right. So that's the prospecting, but understand, a prospector always has their antennas up. Networking is not a 9-to-5 job. Networking is a 24/7 opportunity. Big difference, you see. There is no schedule where, now I understand that, yes, we all sleep at night and so forth, but even at night, not so much now. I put my phone on do not disturb, But in my crazy days, my phone was on. I get calls from people in different countries in the middle of the night, say, "Oh, I don't know, it was you were asleep." But the point is that you always need to have your door open. Business is always open if you really want to build a big business and big network. All right. And when you're out and about, your antennas are up. You take advantage of opportunities through casual conversations, just like with Michelle when I'm getting my hair cut. All right. I talked to a guy down at the baseball field the other day. He happened to be there waiting for some kids to start playing baseball. He's an athlete. And this is also a skill, you guys. How do you direct the conversation in your prospecting? It's natural for me. This guy with baseball, it just turns out that one of our friends was the World Series MVP of baseball back in 2010, Edgar Renteria. You all know Edgar. Edgar was a For Life ambassador. Edgar, we got pictures of Edgar drinking Rio Vita and wearing a For Life jersey. Here he was the #1 baseball player in the world. So through my experience, if I'm talking to someone who's a baseball player and I know that Edgar's one of our ambassadors, I'll just mention that, we got a guy in our business who's the #1 baseball player in the world. He says, who? And this guy said, who is it? I said, Edgar Renteria. He was, really? And I pulled out my phone and I was simply, just to show you guys, I simply went here and I said, yeah, there's Edgar catching one of our products, Energy Go Sticks, in his baseball glove. And the guy goes, wow, what's Energy Go Sticks? That's a skill and a talent you develop. Networking, again, you just have to always be prepared through casual conversation. So back to the vision. Do you see yourself in 2024 actively networking, out there prospecting, talking to people, relationships? How many new relationships can you develop or start during 2024? New people. Break it down from there. How many in January? How many this week? How many today? Get out, set your goal for the week and say, you know what, this week I want to meet 2 new people, 3 new people. How are you going to do it? All right. You'd be amazed how many people you actually talk to in a day when you're out and about, whether you're shopping, whether you're waiting for a bus, or whether you're, walking into, getting your gas filled and you're, at the gas station. We communicate on a daily basis. Messaging, work on your messaging, you guys. All right. Then those of you that actually have active downline, a networker, this is another skill set. Working through your people. If you already have people in your downline, how close are you to them? Be like Mother Goose. Who's Mother Goose? Mother Goose always looked after her little chickies. All right. She's always paying attention to her people, always looking at them, or her duckies in her case. For us, it's people. But she's always paying attention to how they're doing, their wellness, everything. So we need to do the same. When you've got new people that you've sponsored or you're working with, you need to nurture. You need to work with them, develop them. Now, 80% of networkers are women. Isn't that interesting? 80% in our industry are women. Why is that? Because they're natural nurturers. They naturally just know how to, first of all, start a conversation. Women talk a lot more than men. And from there, they know how to nurture. If you think about it, school teachers are nurturers. They're teachers, they're developers. Most of them are women, you see? And so, that's why I love this group that Jillian and Claudia have begun, the Girl Talk. Girl Talk's on Monday, right? Mondays, you guys?
Monday.
Mondays, okay. All right. I know that you guys, I think you moved it and you moved back to Monday. So you women, all right, ladies, if you can get on Girl Talk, join Girl Talk. All right. And that will help in your messaging as well. Women talk to women, whether it's about skincare line or whatever it might be. And we've got Dr. Ronnie, by the way, who's a celebrity. Dr. Ronnie's going to be with Gabby and I in Utah here in a couple of days. She's flying in from Martha's Vineyard, and we're going up here from San Diego. So 2024, Are you going to work with your downline, work with your people, be close to them? Now, it might be different for you because you've not done that before, declaring yourself a leader, declaring yourself someone that, like, well, this person below me is actually better than I am because they got more networking experience. Doesn't matter. Leadership is just stepping up and being of service and trying to stay a step ahead of the people that you've got in your business you're working with. What do I mean by step ahead? It means that if you've got someone in your downline that's got 5 years of network marketing experience and you've got none, well, put the pedal to the metal and get out there and start learning. Learn as much as you can, as quickly as you can, and rise to the occasion. That's what I love about this business, is that you can sponsor someone in your downline that's got way more experience than you do, and you just rise to the occasion. How do you do that? This is why I love this business. You can learn from your downline. You don't think I've not learned from people that are like 10 levels below Gabby and I? I learn from people all the time. I recently heard somebody in our downline make a comment, and I thought, you know what? I love that comment. I'm going to take that comment and put it in my bag, my goodie bag of one line or just sayings, one-liners. And this is what his name's Dan Fallow, and Dan's going to be with us in Utah as well with Dr. Ronnie. He was the #1 distributor for Herbalife, by the way, back in the 80s, #1 before the crash of 1985. But Dan said, this business is nothing more than talking to people you don't know through the people that you do know. I'll give you an example. Hopefully, Michelle, who's with us right now, is the first time on, will join For Life, be a For Life distributor ambassador. She knows people that Gabby and I don't know. So our job, our role is to get into her circle of people and start working with them. You guys, that's going to take, doesn't happen in a day. It takes years because those people know people. And a good networker always is antenna up and aware of what's going on in your network of people you're working with. You start identifying leadership, identifying people. And honestly, I don't know Michelle that well. I mean, 2 times. I mean, I got my hair cut and dropped off some samples, and that's it. So we're going to have a conversation right after this Mentor Monday call, and I'm going to get to know her a little bit. Gabby and I are going to be on and kind of just, begin the journey. All right. So 2024, how many people are you going to network through? This business isn't just about prospecting for yourself. It's also working through your people. Dan Fallow, who's going to Utah this week with us, his wife Brittany has 102,000 contacts in a group she moderates called Black Women in Luxury. She's, in her early 30s, I want to say 33 years old. She moderates this group. She's a model. All right. I want to get into that group of people and start talking to them about the skincare. They're models. You see, that's networking, you guys. Dr. Ronnie. Now, she works with Jillian. Jillian, and this is another thing I love about this business. Jillian, if I can unmute your mic real quick. You don't have to come on camera. It's fine. Where'd Jillian go? Oh, there she is. There you are. Where are you, Jillian, right now?
I'm in St. Martin.
You're on a little island. What's the population of St. Martin?
Oh, probably 30,000 at the most.
So you're on a little island of 30,000 people in the middle of the Caribbean Ocean.
Yes.
And here, one of your top people, in your organization is going to be in Utah, going to see For Life Corporate and meeting, the doctors, the scientists, and so forth. In fact, she's writing a book. Is it correct, Dr. Ronnie?
That's correct. Yes,
What's
she's got a couple of New York Times bestsellers, and one was actually in the detox industry, 21 pounds in 21 days, and the other one was 1 pound a day. But she's now so enthralled with the way the health is not progressing the way it should be these years. So immunity is a big focus for her. So it's like divine timing to partner with a company like For Life. So it was perfect when I introduced her to the company. She was like, this is everything I wanted. You know, your products are everything that I wanted to create myself. So it just makes sense. You know, you've already figured it out. Why should I have to create something?
So here's what I love about this business. You're in the Caribbean Ocean. Claudia, where are you?
A little town called Fort Erie in Canada.
So you're in Canada and you're Jillian's sponsor, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And then from you, where does it go? Just go up above you.
Adriana, who's here and she's in Ocala, Florida, who goes to Laura, who's her neighbor in Ocala, Florida. That goes to Guayaquil, Ecuador, to the Pascal
Ecuador.
family.
And then from Ecuador to me and Gabby.
Yes.
So, and isn't that, I think it's so cool. And here we're going to be with Dr. Ronnie, who's in Martha's Vineyard, you know, in a couple of days. What's my point? Upline serves the downline. You serve your people. If you serve your people well, people will be with you because they want to be with you. That's what makes this business different than a corporate job. People are afraid to lose their job. They feel like, you know, they have to be there. They have to. And to me, you know, I've honestly, I've never had employment my entire life. I've always been self-employed. But, you know, I see people that are just afraid. You know, it's like they're locked into that job and that's all they know. It's all they do. Our business is different, you guys. People have a choice. You're all here today, not because a boss told you had to be here. You're here because you want to be here. And I applaud you all for that. I think it's awesome. And that's what makes this business so different. If you serve your people well, you will develop a great downline, a great community, a great team, and a great family. All right. Jillian said something. She actually, a word I was going to say next, and she said it, timing. She talked about divine timing with Dr. Ronnie. Timing is everything, you guys. And I'll refer back to Michelle again. What caught my attention, Michelle, if you don't mind here, I'm just going to kind of read one line from a text that you sent me. She sent me a text. I got to scroll back a few messages here. Basically saying that this is exactly the kind of quality products I've been searching for. But she says that she's looking for a career change, a different career path. Let me tell you guys something. A lot of people out there are looking for a change. 2024, trust me, 2024 is going to be a year of change. Why? Because people are struggling. In times of financial challenges, financial crisis, guess what happens? People wake up. All of a sudden, it's like, you know what? Back to Bob Hoskins. We're forced in directions we ought to have found for ourselves. People all of a sudden start looking more because there's more a month at the end of the money. The money's ran dry, but they still got bills to pay. So they start looking for options. We've got a wonderful option for people. All right. It's not in the job market. It's not going out and getting a second job or a third job or a fourth job. It's learning how to develop your skills depending upon yourself. The greatest security there is in the world is in yourself. It's not in someone else. All right. When you adopt that attitude, that mentality, you can go out and accomplish anything you want to. 2024 is going to be a year of change. A lot of people are looking for ways to supplement their income. We can help them. We've got options, hope with people. But understand, timing is everything. So what does that mean? When you're out prospecting in 2024, please have a system. Have some sort of system. Betty, I applaud you because I know you take a lot of notes, you know, when we're having these meetings, you know, these Zooms, all right? Have a system that when you're talking to someone, you can follow up with them. Now, you guys have seen in the past, I pulled out my stack of yellow notebooks. Back in 1998, when I started, my system was a pen and paper. I'd write down, you know, talk to Betty Lopez, you know, she said, call back in 3 days, interested, you know, in transfer factor because she's got XYZ problem. Or, you know, I talked to Ruth You know, Ruth needs to make a little bit of extra money. She's a, you know, a car salesperson. I would take notes on people. Now you can do it right all with your cell phone. All right. Have a system though, have some sort of contact relationship management system. Now, I'm not going to get into it today, but you guys know we have this app. The For Life app is also a CRM. It is a contact relationship manager. You can scroll through all the contacts in your phone and you can categorize them with a swipe. You know, right, left, up, down, not interested, customer, affiliate. If somebody who's interested in the business, they're interested in product, they're not interested at all. You can categorize your entire list of contacts in your phone, and then you can follow up with them, take notes on them, and anything you send them from your app, the app memorizes. So you can always go back and see what you sent somebody for follow-up. You know, like, hey, Ruth, I sent you that video, you know, on why For Life opportunity. Did you get a chance to look at it? Well, guess what? The app will tell you if she looked at it. If she opens it, it notifies you. And it tells you what percentage of the video that she watched. So you can see when people are actually engaging in the content you send them. That's a network marketer's dream, to know whether or not you know what you're doing with people is actually working. You know, are they actually looking at that video? Are they opening up that profile? You know, so the app will help you a lot. It's part of the plan. You know, having a plan, you've got to have something. And this is something, Claudia, you know, we talked about this in the past, follow up. That was one of the things you had to work on a lot. Follow up, follow up, follow up, follow up. Some people are really good at talking to somebody one time. Well, you know what? Maybe the timing, as Jillian said with Dr. Ronnie, the timing was really good. Well, some days it's not so good. It's not your fault if the timing is not right for someone else. So you follow up with them. And when you follow up with them, the timing might be right. But again, that could have a lot to do with your messaging. You know, if I follow up with someone and when I follow up, it looks like I'm begging them to get in my business or I'm going to die, that doesn't tend to work. But if I follow up with them and say, you know what? My business is now in St. Martin. Never heard of St. Martin before, but I got business in St. Martin. I got Jillian, who is one of the top Avon or the top Avon recruiters in the world. She joined my business. Now that's a good message when I follow up with someone to say, show them what's going on. You see, and that's what I did in my follow-up, showing people my progress. What did that do to me? It forced me to work and at least progress in one way or another, so that when I followed up with people, it's like, I made diamond. My business is over here. You know, I'm going on a For Life trip. I always had something to tell them in my follow-up that was positive. So you guys, 2024, and then I'm going to want to go through and just kind of share some of my visualizations, you know, over the years, you know, as I got started with For Life with Gabby. How's 2024 going to be any different for you than 2023? What's your plan? Right? And we're going to go through this, excuse me, more and more, you know, on the Mentor Mondays. But Mentor Monday, we're going to be having also, I'm going to be getting into some of the tools again, because I'm learning more about, especially that For Life app. I love that app. I signed up a guy over the weekend. His name's Bruce. And he's out in North Carolina, networker. He was also in Herbalife, one of the top distributors way back years ago, and signed him up over the weekend. And what I do now is I talk to somebody about products. And like Michelle, this is something I'll be doing with you. We talk and we create a pack. And I just call it the Bruce Wells. That's his name, Wells. The Bruce Wells pack. I said, Bruce, here's what I suggest for you. I'm going to send you this pack. Look at it. Let's review it. And then let's get you signed up. He said, okay. He reviewed it. It came to about 480 life points. He wanted to do the fast start. Okay. So I explained the fast start to him. Well, his comment to me was, it makes sense for me to do the fast start because I want to build the business. If I was just going to be a product user, maybe not, but building the business, I can earn an extra $42,000. The potential's there. And I'm investing an extra $300 to start the business. Absolutely. So he was he sold himself on it. I didn't have to do any selling. You know, he just thought it made sense. He said, even if I made half of that, even if I made a quarter of that, 20, you know, if I made $10,000 extra in 2024 because I'm in the fast start, you know, it's only a few $100s more investment to get some product that I'm going to use anyways. So that's what Bruce did. But what I'm doing now is creating packets, you know, packages, favorite lists. And that's something we can go over, you know, in future training. So I want to share with you guys now a little bit about my journey, you know, when I got started. You know, and I'm going to kind of share some things with you guys that maybe you guys don't know about me. I'm actually in growing up, I think I was always insecure as a child. I was picked on, you know, in school. My brother was a brute, a bully. He was way bigger than me. He played football. He played football one year for the San Diego Chargers here in San Diego. He was a defensive end, they call it, which is a big guy, a lineman. But I was always intimidated by him growing up. And I think that caused me to be intimidated by people in general. But as I got involved in network marketing, I was very blessed, very fortunate to have mentors that taught me, you know, many things growing up. But I think it was that insecurity that I had that made me want to be a bit of a perfectionist so that I wouldn't be embarrassed. You know, like the first time I gave a presentation, you know, one that I knew I was going to be presenting. Oh my gosh, I studied, I prepared, I wanted to make sure that I did the best job of presenting in front of a group of people. But the very first time I was forced to do a presentation, I thought I was going to pee my pants. I was so scared, you know, and it happened because I was forced to do it because the speaker didn't show up and I had guests. And so I just stood up and did it, you know. And so when I got started in network marketing back in late 1981, you know, I was a very insecure person, but I had a lot of ambition, a lot of desire, a lot of dreams that I wanted to accomplish. And then I went through this ups and downs, you guys, up through the years, first years of a lot of failure. And when I say failure, things would happen that weren't my fault. So, you know, those of you that have been around network marketing and it didn't work for you, ask yourself, why didn't it work? Now, we tend not to blame ourselves, all right? But if the company went down, okay, that's not your fault. The company you're representing did something, whatever it was. I see it time and time again, all right? So the question would be, did you do your due diligence about the company a little bit? What did you know about the company, all right? Did you learn from that experience? Well, I went through it 3 times, all right, in the 80s, up and down. Got started with the company, went to work, you know, started working with people, and then it failed. Wasn't my fault it failed. It was the people that made decisions behind the company that caused it to fail. It was them. People run these companies, you see. And so, you know, I was making money, I lost it. Started making some money, I lost it. Well, the 3rd time, it was so hard on me that I got Crohn's disease, the stress and everything that happened, losing everything. I lost my vehicles, I lost my house, everything I had, I lost. And I had to start all over again. And I thought to myself, this is insane. I don't want to do this again. And so when For Life came along, I was skeptical, you know, I was critical, but my mentors taught me, and I'm very glad they taught me this, Dave, the business model of networking doesn't fail you. It's a wonderful model as long as you've got the right partner, the right company, the right people, the right products, the right team. You guys, we've got it all. We have it all. The only thing missing is just you, honestly. And so when I took a look at For Life, everything fit into place for me. You see, the timing was good. I fell in love with the products. I love David Lisenby and Bianca Lisenby. You know, became good friends with the founders, and they've never failed me. They always made us feel wanted. They made us feel special. They do that for all of us. You know, when you become a platinum distributor, they actually fly to wherever you are in the world. They'll go to any place you are in the world, as long as they, you know, they're not going to get put in jail for going there. They'll go there and spend, you know, the weekend with you. You know, they want you to know how important you are. So all those things were really good for me because, again, through the years, some of the insecurities I had, it's nice to be with people that make you feel wanted, you know? So let me share my screen here with you, my cell phone, if you will. If you don't mind, I'll just run through this here real fast and just kind of share my journey. Now, you all are on a journey. I encourage you, document your journey. Jillian, I love what you said when you asked us to get pictures of Dr. Ronnie out in Utah. This is her journey, and this is part of your journey. Yeah. Now, Gabby is going to be a photo taking fiend while we're out there in Utah, taking all kinds of photos and videos of her talking to the doctors, the scientists, going on a tour, going through the manufacturing plant, all those things. Document your journey, you guys. It's not just important to you, but important to the people that you're going to be talking to and sharing it with. All right. I wish I had more documentation, but I don't. You know, when I got started, I didn't have a cell phone. I didn't have a camera. In fact, I had a joke. I'm so broke, I can't pay attention. It was bad. I was really broke. Gabby had 2 houses and a car. I didn't have anything. So I'm going to share my screen here real quick. Okay. Whoops. So when I got started, many of you have seen these pictures before. Whoops, hang on a second. Let me get to where I can turn my phone sideways. There we go. All right. That's where my 4-Life journey began. You know, since that place never changed, you know, I actually went out there and took a few pictures, but I found this picture when I was actually living there. The door was taken off. That's how I remember this photo, because there's graffiti on the back of that door. I was tagged by some gangs. Maybe they thought whoever I was living there before, and they must have been like selling cocaine or something, because the neighbors next to me got arrested for selling cocaine. So maybe it was a place where cocaine was sold in that little apartment complex there. But that's where I began my 4-Life journey. Now, here's what's interesting. Gabby and I would drive to San Diego on the weekends now and then, just to kind of get away. We would drive in here. You know, one of my hobbies as I started making a little bit of money was to build a computer. I love building computers, and I built my first little computer for myself to do my business with. We would drive by this area called Blossom Valley, and I would look up there and I see these beautiful houses on a lot of land. They owned a lot of land, a few acres. And I thought, wow, Gabby and I would say, wouldn't it be so cool to live in that area? So every time we drove to San Diego, we would look at that area and just visualize what it would be like to live in Blossom Valley. I'm telling you guys, the law of attraction really works. You have to visualize this yourself. Where do you see yourself living in a year? Maybe it's even 6 months, maybe next month. You have to visualize something. Well, Gabby and I knew that through the years we could accomplish it, and we did. It took us, what did it take? 8 years. 8 years later, I bought a mountaintop. And there's little Ryan next to me on top of the mountain, and built a house on top of the mountain. All right, that's right here in Blossom Valley. It's called, you know, just east of San Diego. Beautiful views from our driveway there. You can actually see the ocean on clear days out there. That's a lake right next to us on the east, right? This is all from the driveway. So I got a lake on the east and the ocean on the west. Beautiful sunsets. You know, just, you know, love it up here where we're at. So we envisioned this, you guys, and then we built it. There's the kids in the front yard, it looks like. So, you know, just a few lifestyle pictures. Then the car. You know, growing up, I always wanted to have a nice sports car. You know, not now. That's changed. I could care less about having a, you know, that's an i8. You know, I could care less about that these days. But it's something I wanted. You know, I envisioned it. I'd see people driving some of these cars on the freeway and say, you know what, I want to get one of these. Worked for it, envisioned it, and got it. So that's when I brought the i8 home. There's the kids. They love the i8 as well. They're always hanging around it. I even went out and personalized it. Check out the license plate. ProTF. That's our protein. Then, this was just last week. Gabby went and picked herself up a new car last week. That's her new Mercedes, got a bow on it. Unfortunately, I wasn't there when she went and got it, but she went and got it. This is Case right there, giving her the keys to her new car. This is just a few days ago. All right. So again, you have to envision these things. Now let's talk about transformation. Kind of embarrassing picture here, but nevertheless, that's myself, Juan Vargas, and Arminio in the Bahamas. This is probably around 2011 on one of our 4Life trips. And I met this person, okay? Chris Lockwood, he's in the middle there. He's actually, Arnold Schwarzenegger's nutritionist. He developed the entire line for Joe Weider. If you all know Mr. Olympia, it's called Joe Weider's Mr. Olympia. Joe Weider is the one that brought Arnold Schwarzenegger from Austria over to the United States. Joe Weider gave Arnold his life, literally. Brought him here, put him up in an apartment, and helped him get his career started in bodybuilding. And then, of course, Arnold became an actor and so forth. But Chris is the one that inspired me, challenged me to work on myself. Here's what I find interesting. People that tend to be successful in life, really successful, understand the importance of all the pillars, whether it's spirituality, whether it's health and wellness, whether it's financial, whether it's family, all those pillars you want to be healthy at, good at. And so I went out and worked on myself, and started doing things that you do between diet and exercise and everything. And that's when we launched the protein. You guys remember the protein launch, those of you that were with us. And that day, just to kind of an FYI, that day in 24 hours, my network bought or sold $7 million in 24 hours of ProTF protein. It was a worldwide launch. Then I talked about the wanting to feel important. Well, as you get around celebrity types, you feel important. If you all saw Pursuit of Happiness with Will Smith, that story is about Chris Gardner. This is Chris right here. That's the real guy. All right. It's his story. Here he's with the family. This is with our kids. All right. He really took to Brandon. You can see he's kind of doing a little peace sign behind Brandon there. But these are all people that through our journey that we've met that make us feel important. They love us. It's amazing how, these are celebrity types, and yet they're just people. They're just people. There's Kelly Clarkson, Kelly Clarkson with Brandon and Mark. She performed at one of our events. Magic Johnson, if you look behind me, there's a basketball up there that Magic gave me that's in a case that he signed. There he is with Gabby and I and the kids. There's Viola Davis, she sent this to us so that we could share it with people. And if you want this picture, it's available with our protein, our Renuvo, our Energy Go Sticks. She loves our products. In fact, she is today, right now, in South Africa, filming a new movie. And again, they're using our 4Life products. Her, Gabby McLean, and some of the cast for the movie are using our products. There's the Backstreet Boys with our kids, our daughters, drinking Rio Vita. Kind of a fun, goofy pic. Edgar, #1 World Series baseball player, catching Energy Go Sticks in his glove. So now, talk about making you feel important. Edgar comes to San Diego Petco Park. This is the year he was the World Series MVP. Takes the time to come over to our son Brandon and one of Brandon's friends, take pictures, hang out with Brandon, make Brandon feel important. All right. I mean, it's just amazing, So, and this is one of my, I guess, bragging rights, I guess. My band, I love music. I play guitar, and I love producing music. And I spent time in a recording studio with Graham Russell. He's the one with the blonde hair next to me there. He's a founding member of Air Supply. He founded that group back in the 80s, a lot of love songs with some of the best musicians actually in the world, you guys. This is in the recording studio. We're producing and doing, making music. This was in 2016, actually, when I was doing this. There's Graham with my guitar, practicing, getting ready to do recording. Here we are in the studio, just kind of hanging out, talking about, you know, what we're going to be doing with music and all that. I'm the one obviously doing the video there. There's myself with Graham and Aaron McLean, incredible lead guitarist. This is after one of their concerts backstage, me and Gabby with some of the band members, Russell Hitchcock and Graham Russell. So again, you feel important, you know, but I visualized all this, you guys. This whole thing's about vision. I love music. I love guitar. I love the recording studio. I love being in that environment. You have to visualize it to make it happen. All right. First class. Always wanted to travel first class. I took this picture because I was the only one in first class on this flight to Paris. I could do laps in the first class cabin. I was the only one in there. This is my bed in first class, flying first class. This is on first class on Singapore Airlines. This was just recently, actually. Gabby and I heading over to Malaysia. Again, I'm not doing this to try to boast or brag. That's actually Gabby's bed. There's the window right there. Gabby's, they come and make your bed so you can sleep on the way there. That's me, actually. I'm already asleep. Gabby took that picture while I was sleeping. So, feeling important. Here's the Lisenbys. They love us all. In fact, let me tell you guys something. David Lisenby has more vision now than he's ever had in his life. He made this comment in Costa Rica recently, just last month when we were there with David Lisenby and the golds and platinums, that his vision is more clear than it's ever been. You know, with For Life, the legacy, you know, what we're going to be doing to grow For Life around the world. They're having a China launch this week, you guys, in Hong Kong, launching China. There's David and Steve came out to our house, took that picture when they were out here when Gabby and I made platinum. These are all people in our organization that make us feel important. This is in Singapore with our platinum, Sherry and Sadiq Din and some of our Singapore team. There they are there. These are all golds and platinums. This is a team that we got in Malaysia, Gabby and I. We were just in Malaysia recently. That's Sherry, our platinum again. Juan Rosado, platinum from Puerto Rico with Ming. He's one of our bronzes from Malaysia. This is our group in Indonesia. Actually, all the pictures I took are from Asia. I still need to start putting them together for South America and in the US as well. This is Philippines. This is our team in the Philippines. That's me taking a little selfie before we started the meeting in the Philippines. This is in Penang on the border of Thailand when Gabby and I went up there. This is the same team from Penang. So the reason I share this with you guys is really just one purpose. And we'll finish up right now. It's 10 o'clock. Vision. You have to vision, you guys. So please, today, take the time when we finish this Zoom right now. Start envisioning, where do you see yourself in 2024? What's your goal? And then how are you going to accomplish that? What's going to change? What's going to happen that's going to help you achieve that goal? And then break it down. What are you going to do this month, this week, and today is when it starts. But it all begins with a vision. Envision it, all right? And then, of course, take action. We're here to help you do that. Every week we do Mentor Monday, all right? Every Monday, you can get on it. You don't have to get on it. But the whole point is, it's a place we can all come from, you know, get on wherever you are in the world and get a little injection, a little shot of inspiration, motivation, education, and share with each other. All right. So with that, what I want to do now is pass it back to, I guess, Betty. I'll pass it back to you. And in closing, Betty, if you don't mind, I want to ask you as you close, where do you see yourself 2024? All right. What do you want to accomplish? All right. Where do you want to go? And if you want to share with us how you're going to get there. Actually, Gabby raised her hand. I apologize. Sweetie, let me pass it to you. And then you can go ahead and pass it back to Betty. Sorry about that.
And I also need to make an announcement. How about if I do that now?
Yeah.
I want to actually, everybody, please congratulate, because she's right now with us, and I don't know if she has to jump out, Margaret Matiwi from Kenya. She is our brand new a Diamond Elite. So everybody,
Nice.
please, lots of hearts. And
Nice.
I wanted to make sure that maybe I can get her, Margaret, this to tell us your testimonial on our next Mentor Monday. So I'll talk to you, Margaret, later. We want to hear all about it because you're on your way to making those dreams come true. So thank you, thank you. And now I'm going to pass it on to Gabby. That's really the only announcement I have. Don't forget Mentor Monday. Check the calendar, and Gabby, and then Gabby can pass it to Betty.
Good morning, good evening, depending on where you are in the world. And yes, Margaret, we're very proud of you. In a place like Africa, if you can do it, we in the US can do it. Believe me, we have corporate here in the US, well, in many, many countries, but corporate in the US, okay? There you are, right there. Well, congratulations. And I also want to give a warm welcome to Susan and Michelle for being on this call. And I want to encourage every one of us to invite your affiliates to these calls. I mean, we have some great presenters. We really do. Not on just this call, but on the other calls we have on Dave's calendar, which are in Portuguese, English, and Spanish. So I just want to share, have you signed up for convention? If you have not, please do so. I see Betty getting all excited. It's like this. I invite you to a huge party, right? It's a 3-day party. And I really want you to be there, okay? It is very, very, gosh, it's like I was saying in our Spanish training, some of the best memories of Dave and I's career have been at convention, and of course on the amazing trips we take with every one of you that make it to a trip. But we're there to meet people, like-minded people from many countries. We're there to share, to take pictures with each other, because that's actually our favorite part. Our favorite part is to take pictures with you, because it's part of your journey. It's part of our journey. And my kids always complain that I take way too many pictures, but they're the first ones to ask me for my pictures. So I love sharing everything that I can with you, whether it's motivation, whether it's how to use our Aqua skincare, collagen, and all the products. I have a real big passion for every single product because it was thoughtfully developed for us. I was just commenting to a friend of mine the other day that before I started taking our collagen, my hair felt stringy, dry. I was told I had a thyroid problem. At one point in my life, before I joined For Life, I had alopecia. I was going bald in some areas. I was lucky enough I didn't
I
lose.
can testify to that. I've seen bald patches in her head.
What? I'm sorry?
I saw the bald patches in your head, your hair.
When you first met me?
Yeah.
You know what I would do? I would take eyeliner and I would fill them in because they weren't that big. They were like the size of a quarter to a dime. And I would actually do that because sometimes I would have them like right here in the back of my head. And I used to feel this intense heat. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to have a bald spot there tomorrow. They would come out like that when I would feel that heat come on. But because of our amazing products, my hair, ever since I started taking our products, especially, obviously Transfer Factor, I don't have that problem anymore. So, I mean, I have so many testimonies, we don't have time. But, it's stories like that you can share with your friends and family. What is your best experience with our products? And when you talk from the heart, people are going to want to know more. People are going to want to take that product. And all you have to do is just send a link. Just send a link and it'll be delivered right to their doorstep. And if they're going to buy collagen, it's not going to be like our collagen. Let me just tell you that right now. Our collagen is hydrolyzed. It contains all the vitamins necessary for full absorption. When I say hydrolyzed, let me go back to that. A lot of people have stomach discomfort when they take a collagen. So ours is broken down so that it's easier on our gut. And it heals our gut. So many benefits. And my hair actually now grows out. It's shinier, it's healthier. I mean, gosh, like I said, I could sit here and tell you so much about it. But for now, I just want to encourage all of you that live in the US and markets where there's a corporate office to check your app and go to the monthly special and send it out to your friends and family that are active, inactive, or that are prospects. Oh, I see Rocio showing me her boost and her collagen. And look at her hair. She looks healthy too. Thank you, Rocio. So share your special. Our special here in the US is buy a Presume and a Renuvo and save $15 from our wholesale price. Share it, just share everything. But obviously you do want to share the product specials, because when we know the value of each product and we have an additional savings on top of that, that makes it so much more appealing to anyone that wants to save money, even if it's just $15. So with that, we love and appreciate you, and let's keep building and growing and sharing, because people need our products. It's not something like, gosh, like I'm buying, not buying a toy, okay? I'm buying a product. I still haven't put away my nutcrackers from Christmas. So with that, I give it back to Betty. Betty, thank you. And we'll see you next time.
Wow, no, thank you guys. I'm so excited. I'm really inspired by listening to Dave Daughtrey. So please give both of you guys a round of applause. Please, everyone that's in the chat. I'm really happy and honored. I must confess, last night I went to bed at 2 a.m. Well, this morning, because I was connecting someone from Kigali, Africa. And I invited him today. Unfortunately, I don't know what happened. He couldn't connect, but he said, yeah, I'm going to connect. I've been following up with him for the past since I started the journey 4 years ago with For Life. And I have to say that I did not start the business opportunity for the business. I started because of healthy issues. I think a lot of us have done that. And going back to what Dave said, Dave, thank you so much. You don't understand. For opening your heart, for being so vulnerable, for just sharing who you are as a person. You have such a beautiful heart. And I know we tell you this every Wednesday, and I just have to tell you again, because I really see how important it is to connect, and you connect so beautifully. Thank you so much for being you. I really have to tell you that, for sharing your insecurities. You tap my childhood insecurities, and I'm like, oh, I understand why I'm going through this journey. So thank you. I really believe the workshop was for me, not for my guests. And with the question about where do I see myself? Last night we had an amazing workshop with our Spanish team, and I reconnected with one of my downlines that she has been a ghost for the past 3 years. And I believe what Gillian said about that divine timing. She said yesterday, Betty, I'm woke. This is what she told me. And I was like literally crying. I was like, thank you, God, is listening to my prayers. And she said, I want to do this business. And we're going for it. And so she already signed up for my downline signed up already for the convention. So we're connected already. And so my goal for me to April is to get to bronze. So can I do it? It's a big responsibility. I'm like, it's only 3.5 months. Yes, I'm not gonna doubt about it. I'm just gonna go for it all in. So I am gonna take action. I am gonna break it down. How am I gonna do it from here to the 90 days? I did it 2 years ago to hit presidential, won the Great Escape, won the double builder bonus. I'm like, don't limit yourself, Betty. You can do it. Just learn and go and connect to the workshop. So I want to thank you, everyone that connected. Those are new. If you're here, it's not by mistake. it's because God has a purpose for you in this opportunity. So with that, God bless you. Thank you, Claudia, and see you next Monday.
Thank you,
And let's
Betty.
unmute everybody. You can greet Dave and Gabby. Here we go. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Gabby. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you,
Keep going,
Betty.
keep
Thank you,
going, you guys,
everybody.
all right?
Claudia.
Thank you.
Kick
Thank
off
you.
2024 with a bang. Get out there and hustle.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations, Margaret.
Thank you.
I'm so excited. I met Margaret in Utah.
Congratulations, Margaret.
Woo! I'm so excited for you, Margaret. I hope
Michelle, I'll
to
see you
again.
on Zoom.
Yeah, Michelle's got
Bye,
her
everybody.
notebook ready of
Thank you.
notes.
Thank you,
Bye-bye,
everybody.
everyone.
Congratulations, Margaret.
everybody.